What's up? This is Matt. I'm back. All right, so blinds moved up 153. So everyone's M has gone down exclusively. Actually, we have some 30 antes in the middle for 30. So total 690 in the pot pre-flop. So yeah, pretty much I have an M of less than 5. So yeah, it's situation where you're pretty much it's all in or nothing. And pretty much everyone else at the table, I mean, you know, this guy has a little bit of play, but not much. I mean, 690, he has a little less than 10 as an M. So, you know, he can be selective and maybe not play as speculative. But given that everyone else has a short stack, you know, he has to really play the functional stack, which would be less than his. So, example, if I'm shoving all in, he has to read what I would do with this type of a stack and range me out accordingly, and then play his hand. Whereas if the roles reversed and he made a raise or limped in like that, just called the big blind, and I was in his position, I would make a decision based on his stack, and I'd probably just shove all in because this guy just looks like he's limping way too much, especially with that stack. So in a situation, I'm 10 out of 16. Got to get lucky. Got to be aggressive. Got to get all my money in. So this can be a short video, and that's fine. But you have to be willing to, you know, these type of tournaments, get all your money in the middle. It's just the blinds escalate too fast. They don't start you with enough chips to begin with, and it really is what it is. So you have to embrace that. All right, so even with this guy sitting out, 610 is just not strong enough yet. So let's just kind of look and see. If I was any of these guys, if I had a playable hand, I would just shove all in. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, see, this guy is, I wish I had position on him. All right, Jack 9. So short stack makes an all in. Oh, the guy trapped with pocket aces. Interesting. You know what I would have done, because he was pretty short. You know, 36. He made the read that 36 was limping weak and was folding the all-in shoves. I would have just let out and bet like raise it to like 600, which it represents. I mean, the extra 300 is a min bet, so it means nothing to him, but it represented a good piece of his. I would have just tried to get a little bit more in there pre-flop, but you know, it worked out really good for him in that situation. Now, if he shoves here, unfortunately, I gotta fold. I don't really see this player as the type of person that would limp in on the button like this, but all right, so looks like he might be having internet issues or something, but he's sitting out. All right, so if this folds all the way up to me, okay, so he makes a min raise. He's pretty much pot committed against either of us. Given this play before, I don't think he really knows that, however. But I'm going to go ahead and fold this. And all right, so coming into on the button, and 9-7 suited. I am going to shove all in on this if it gets folded to me. I don't like my situation, but got to make a stand at some point, and I only have 2 people to go through. So hopefully, hopefully this guy has pocket aces and I suck out on him. It'd be great. All right, so got through the blinds there. King 6. Let's go ahead and do it again. Because of how much I'm representing of his stack, you know, he has to have a premium hand to call. So I think that's a good situation to shove all in. All right, Jack 9 suited. Not going to do it with this one. Probably a little too loose. Now I'm going through 1, 2, 3, 4 people that could potentially have a hand. So not gonna take my chances with this hand. I don't know what's going on with this guy. He must have some sort of internet issues. Yeah, disconnected, allowing 30 seconds for reconnection. Well, it's gonna suck because these blinds already suck as it is, and now we just gotta wait a little longer. You know, I don't think that this guy is stalling intentionally. If he is, it's absolutely idiotic. His stack is not big enough to stall into making it to the money. As a matter of fact, his stack's not even big enough. That's generally a terrible strategy to have when I see people do it, because when these blinds go up, and I don't think he's doing it, but let's just say when people do that, when the blinds go up, you know, you have to see as many hands. If you're a good player, you should have faith in your ability and see as many hands as you can. You know, there are some situations where I can understand stalling, like deep in a satellite when there's maybe 10 to 15, maybe they're paying out the top 100. All right, so this is a no-brainer. Under the gun, especially with this guy sitting out here, it's going to shove all in. If they got me, I mean, ace, king, ace, queen, you know, people are going to pick up ace, king a lot of times, and if it happens, it happens, but you can't fold. This is too strong to not fold, to fold that there. Can't make any other play, in my opinion, except shoving all in. All right, so king 4. Oddly enough, I could justify a call in this situation. His range is huge. Actually, I really couldn't justify a call, but just to give you an example of how you have to think in these tournaments, put yourself in his situation and range out what you would be shoving. And, you know, I would probably shove Jack 10, Queen Jack, obviously all my, you know, very good hands like pocket pairs, but you're shoving a wide range. And if I had ace 4, I would likely call him, but king 4 is not strong enough. But you have to essentially put yourself in their shoes and range out what you would think that they would that you would do in that situation. All right, so this is a little speculative, but I'm going to shove all in on this stack, and unfortunately, he woke up with a hand. And gut shot. Oh. All right, so I might have been getting a little too greedy with 2-5 there. Pretty much going heads up. You know, as long as he didn't have a hand. All right, so Queen Jack. So I'll get called here, and King Jack. Oh, all right. So oh, diamonds. Oh, this guy's irate right now. All right, so my shove standard, his call, his reshove was standard. He just got unlucky. So here comes the stating the obvious over here, like as if nobody knew that. But everything was standard on that play. Pretty much you have to shove a Queen Jack there every single time if you're trying to win tournaments. and just take your chances. And you got to get lucky. So that was my one chance, getting lucky. And actually, they say you got to get lucky, but you got to get lucky a hell of a lot in tournament poker. You got to play good, especially in the deep stack tournaments. Maybe if I get to a final table and I got a lot of chips in a big tournament on a Sunday, I'll try to fire up a video. But in these tournaments, you're pretty much it's really just a shove fest. But in deep stack, it really comes down to stealing a lot of pots and making plays. So it's pretty much you want to, in deep stack tournaments, you want to put the odds in your favor. So basically, when you're chipping away and making a lot of when you're chipping away and picking up a lot of small pots, when you do catch a bad beat, it won't affect you to the way that it might affect another player who. All right, so Queen 7 suited. Too many people to go through. I'm just gonna go ahead and fold it. If I had like a 2,500 or less, I'd probably just go all in with this. Now, back to what I was saying. So you want to put the odds in your favor. So when you chip away and you win a lot of small and contested pots, essentially, when you do catch a bad beat, it won't affect you as much. And that's really what you want to just mitigate the odds and put things in your favor as much as possible. All right, so everyone pretty much has the same stack right now. They have to play the same style of play, which is just being very aggressive and getting your chips in. Given the way we've observed some of the play, a lot of people are deviating from optimal, especially 16. So we'll keep an eye on that, situations where we maybe can take advantage of that. Given that he has position on us, we're unfortunately not going to have that many situations. But we'll keep an eye on other players to see if there is any other situations we can take advantage of. All right, so I'm currently at 5 out of 14. All right, so Ace King, definitely playing this hand pretty much no matter what. So it'd be great if one of these guys shoved. They're probably shoving a pretty wide range, and then I can call that. Now, just limping in like that, of course, I'm just going to shove all in. I have a pretty loose image from my the bad beat I gave this guy over here, so people are pretty much looking for me to make wild plays like that. Plays that I've made really are not too wild outside of the 2-5, but their perception, because they're probably not playing optimally at this level, is that I'm making a lot of wild plays, which is fine. The main thing with poker is understanding your image and then reacting to how people perceive you. All right, so kind of have to fold this in this situation. Under the gun limper, which is always scary. Then this guy raising. I don't know what, unless he has pocket aces or pocket kings, he's playing this, really not playing his hand optimally. And of course, with aces or kings, he'd be trapping this guy. So yeah, ace-8, obviously a terrible play. This guy at pocket tens. Obviously, he's drawing to just one of 3 more aces remaining, and got lucky. All right, so ace-5. If this guy folds, I'm going to shove all in. 10 big blinds on the button with an ace in your hand is pretty strong. So, and keep picking away. And all right, it's 2-5, so the fold. Alright, so that guy is likely the chip leader at this tournament. Alright, so King Jack. I'm actually glad this guy made a raise and give me a reason to get away from this, but I like we would shove. I got 4 people remaining. How fast these blinds are going up. There's likely nothing that well, likely a lot of these people are just not playing optimal, so they're probably not reading my situation and ranging out the strength of my hands. So I'd probably be able to get away with getting people to fold a lot of hands, you know, maybe even a hand like Ace-10 in that situation. It's a pretty good scenario to raise or shove all in, but the guy raised in front of me, so I had to just get away from it, so that's fine. Alright, so there's a min raise pre from 36, and 16 with his stack. Unless you're trapping, you really should never just be calling a raise unless you fully intend to get all your chips in the middle. Even if I had Ace King, if I was just calling his raise, I would just get all my chips in the middle because you're just investing way too much to not go all the way with it. Alright, so hopefully this guy just gives me a walk. In my image, I've done this to him a couple of times, but he just doesn't seem to really care, so I'm just going to shove all in again. Yeah, I mean, you got to be smarter than that. If you see that somebody's making plays on you, and either shove all in or fold. Don't just, you know, call an extra 200 and allow him the opportunity to go ahead and do that. So even though I know this guy is itching at the opportunity, I'm just going to go ahead and shove this again. Alright, so I make a full house, and yeah, in that situation, I mean, Jack-7 against a random hand, given that he had the stack he had, you just gotta, you know, really, it's just a pretty ideal opportunity to shove on him. It was a good call. That was pretty standard, calling with the ace. If I was him, I'd call pretty light with just about anything. So I'm going to go ahead and make a standard 3x raise since there's 2 big stacks here. And he shoves all in on me, so I'm going to go ahead and fold that. But back to that last hand, Jack-7 suited. I thought about even folding that simply because I gave him a couple of bad beats. And, well, I shoved on him with 2-5 at one point. And, of course, he called and won that hand. And I Queen-Jack versus King-Jack, and I made a flush. So his perception of me is that I'm very loose and out of control, which is true and it's not true. I mean, it's true from a lot of people's perception in a tournament like this, but when you have Jack-7 heads up and his chip stack is that small, essentially just ranging out a random hand, it's a good situation just shoving that, to shove against him almost every time. So he woke up with an ace, he got his money in good and just got unlucky, so it happens. It happens to everyone. Alright, so I'm 4 out of 10 currently, and I'm still playing the same way, you know, still looking for a hand just to get all my money in. I do not like the fact that I have a big stack to my left. It makes things very difficult, because essentially if I'm playing a hand, I have to account for his stack, the fact that he can bust me out. Luckily, he's the only person that can bust me out at this table, so if I catch a bad beat from anyone else or get coolered, I'm still alive with some play even, so that's fine. So that's exactly why you shove all in pre-flop right there. This guy may have made that call, but you just don't want to risk it. Alright, so blinds escalate again. Alright, so in this situation, well, of course, that all in. So with an all in and a call, I'm just going to go ahead and fold that. I would have been drawn to a 3-outer. His shove pre-flop, I believe I was getting, wasn't quite getting 2-1. General rule of thumb is if you're getting 2-1 pre-flop, you should be calling. All right, so final table starting. So I'm just going to do some inventory. Luckily, 2 big stacks right now are to my right. Of course, that can change really fast. Everyone else, everyone's strategy is pretty much going to be the same based on the how fast the blinds escalated in this tournament. So 4 out of 9 right now, and top 7 pays. Of course, you're only going to win 80 cents if you finish 7th place. So our goal is never to just make the money in a tournament like this. Every decision we make is geared towards winning or making top 3. So you're always going to be playing aggressive. You're never just going to want to fall into that money situation. So truthfully, with 36 players, I don't even really like the top 7 payout. I'd probably just prefer top 5. Top 7's a lot of people to pay out for 36 players. But with these smaller stacks, I know they have like these beginner tourneys. Alright, so it's going to seem crazy, but I'm going to fold ace-jack suited here. I mean, there's just too many people to get through. It's very vulnerable, any ace-queen, ace-king. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that. The blinds just went up. Maybe if the blinds were going to go back up in like a minute or two, I would shove it all in because the blinds going to escalate. But the blinds just went up. We have 9 minutes until the next level, so I'm not going to. It's too early for that, at least in my opinion. I don't use a lot of these software like some of the poker pros do, like Poker Stove. I mean, I've seen it used, and I've watched a lot of sit and go strategy tournaments when I used to play more regularly. But that would be an interesting hand to put into the software. I mean, it would probably give you a 50-50 situation where, a lot of tournaments come down to very, very small edges. So it would probably be very close. I just decided in that situation to fold it. So at 36, with this stack 10,000 here and another 10,000 stack, it'd be interesting, if you wanted to pot commit against this guy, but not here. With this type of a raise, I mean, if he's looking to raise and fold with his stack, I do not agree. So this is, to me, always a raise or fold stack, or shove all in or fold stack in this situation. I mean, if you end up folding that to a pre-flop shove, let's say 25 shoved on you, you're just investing way too much of your money to get away from it. So, all right, so a very interesting card hit this river. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. I felt like he was making a stab. 25 was making a stab at this on the turn. All right, so Queen 5. Really, if anyone shoves in this situation, and a min raise here, I'm just going to have to fold this. Alright, so 9-6. If it folds around to me, I'll likely just shove on this guy, player number 8. don't remember if he was at my table previously. I don't think he was, because that seat was I think they moved us. That seat was open previously, so he probably doesn't have a read on me. All right, so in this situation, I can't really shove. I mean, someone's going to be pot committed in this situation. I'm always going to get a call, so you can't. You don't have any value for any type of an all-in bluff here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that. You have no value to call out of position. All right, so luckily that happened because it looked like he does have a hand. I can't believe this guy would fold that. Alright, so 6-2, even going against just one person. I'm just going to go ahead and fold this here. Alright, Queen 6. If this folds around to me, everyone is playing very tentative because 7 is the money bubble. This is just getting into the money doesn't make a big deal to me either way, so I'm going to be aggressive in this situation. So this is a good opportunity for me to chip up. Luckily, I got the really big stack to my right. All right, so ace king, it doesn't matter really what happens when we get my money in with this hand. Ideally, it would still be everyone folding up to me, and I can go ahead and shove all in. All right, so it's actually more than 4 times the big blind, so I'm pot committed. But even with ace king, my hand is just way too good to ever consider folding that. If he raises that much and then folds this, that would be very, very mediocre of a play. Can't believe he just did that. But you need that. I mean, essentially, I just won a huge pot, 54-50 uncontested without even, and given these blinds and the relative stacks, investing that much, you really just have to, if you got yourself in bad, maybe if he raised, like, I don't know what he could possibly raise or he would fold to a shove, but if you put yourself you don't want to put yourself in bad situations. You always want to look ahead and see what could potentially happen. And, if you know you're going to fold to a shove with everyone's stack, and you might have to call when you're getting really good odds, but your hand is that crappy, just fold it. All right, so Jack 5. Even though I want to be aggressive on this money bubble, it's too early a position. You'll notice if this guy busts right here and we get into the money, people will start to play. You have to recalibrate your thinking, because people are going to start playing. People are going to start playing more aggressive. Naturally, they're not concerned about not making the money because they're already in. So. So I'm gonna make a standard 2.5x raise here, and if some of these small stacks shove, I'm gonna call. If one of these big stacks shove, I can get away from it. Yeah, he's not gonna do that unless he has a pretty big hand. So ace king, ace queen. Either way, I'm just gonna go ahead and let's just calculate this out for a second. So I gotta call 65. Total pot 10,000, so I'm getting like 1.7 to 1. Yeah, I'm just gonna fold in that situation. The odds are not that good. All right, so the blinds go up 300, 600. So people are gonna have to be more desperate with the way they play. They already should have been in that mode, but there's really no stack that's really safe right now from something's happening. All right, so fold early position 8-4. Obviously, I got a fold here, but given his strength, I would say I would fold a lot of pretty strong hands, maybe like very small 2s, 3s, 4s, pocket pairs. Maybe ace-9, ace-8. I believe with his stack, I'm probably just going to bite the bullet and I have a stronger hand. I mean, he should be shoving a wide range, but these tournaments, people are really not playing on that strategy. So I would even give his range, give him the benefit of the doubt of having a tighter range and a better hand. All right, so I could have actually justified. I probably should have shoved all in right there. Making a squeeze play with a raise and then a caller on the button. My observation of a lot of bad players is that they actually tend to make loose calls. So if they're usually raising pre-flop, they're usually raising with very good hands, but they're very willing to make a loose call. So probably would have won this hand with my queen. So I pretty much definitely would have won the hand with that third queen coming, but it's just a decision I decided to fold. All right, so this situation, queen 9 suited on the button going against two people. I'm going to shove all in here. All right, so just increase my stack, but like almost 20%, it looks like, just off that. So you see the importance of just being very aggressive. Pocket 4s, if it folds to me, nothing's going to change. I'm going to shove all in with this. Hopefully everyone folds to me. Now, I thought that may have happened. I'm going to go ahead and isolate this guy heads up. His 2500 stack is not going to affect me too much. And I'm going to put everyone, I'm going to not let anyone else call. So I got a coin flip, and he flopped a pretty good flop. Yeah, and he turns us straight. So that happens. But I like that to get that in heads up. He should be shoving a pretty wide range, and take a gamble in that situation. Obviously, you never really want to get your money all in with 4s, but I think that would have been a good situation. You also had a potential of a side pot if somebody called your shove. Now, if they did call my over the top shove, likely they're going to have a pretty strong hand, but really you have to play as aggressive as possible in these tournaments. Alright, queen 5 suited, too early a position. If I was on the button or maybe the cutoff seat right here, I would consider plowing that in, but too early a position. Alright, Jack 8. Again, position very bad. Still 8 people at this table. I'm pretty much in the middle of the pack, but this is still a good opportunity. I like that these bigger stacks are to my right here. You know, it's always good to have position on the bigger stacks to see what they're doing. All right, so we have a flop here. So it's a strange bet there. All right, so I'm under the gun. 9-8, not strong enough again. Got to make a fold. All right, so shove all in like that. I mean, he'd have to have an ace or a jack. So kind of a bad bet to make. You know, if you have a jack, you're not going to get any value. If you have an ace, you're really putting yourself in a bad situation. If he does have a jack, I mean, being out of position, you don't have many options anyways. All right, so this min raise, I mean, he's representing like almost a third of his stack. You know, a jack 10 is just not strong enough to, you know, you're pot committed. You don't want to make plays. It's better, to be quite honest, to make a gamble like that. It's better just to wait a hand. Now, if it comes and folds to me, I can just shove all in on him and put him in a bad situation. So it's better not to gamble, especially with jack high when you know that you're pretty much pot committed, and try to make a play or even try to call. It's calling pre-flop out of position is a bad situation there because you're investing too much of your chips. You know, for me, it's really better to be that first aggressive initiator into the pot than to you know, try to pick off a situation like that, because essentially you're making the game more about luck, and you want as much as possible to make it about skill. All right, so pretty standard. Ace King beats pocket fours. All right, so Queen 10 on a button. I'm gonna shove all in. If it gets folded to me, obviously. And given these stacks, unless they're going all in, I really do not like the fact that he's got so many chips now. He can essentially call me with a hand that he wouldn't have called me with before. All right, so I get through those two blinds. So you see, that's why you know, I do never advocate making a loose call. General rule of thumb: loose raise is good, loose call bad. So that's why I pretty much just folded that situation with Jack 10 suited a couple hands ago. Alright, so let me just look at this tournament here. Let's see. Obviously, there's still is it not allowing me to view the turn? Okay, here we go. Alright, so there's still 8 people. Let's see, this tournament's been running for an hour and 45 minutes, so you guys have been getting your money's worth. The blinds just go up again. Yep, blinds 400, 800, so pretty much everyone is down to like an M of 5. 400, 800 with an 80 ante. So it's what? 1200, 1840 pre-flop. Alright, so now the blind just, or the bubble just burst, so we're down to 7 players. So now that everyone's in the money, you'll see that the characteristic of the game is going to change drastically. People are going to be more willing to get their money in now that they've made the money. You know, they were playing tight and passive and earlier, so we have to factor that into our decisions moving forward. Still going to play aggressive. Queen 6, you know what? Given the scenario, you can jump up a couple of money spots, you know, pretty easily. Even though, you know, like in a pretty much a normal tournament, you would be shoving this with your stack. You have to factor in the other stacks that are still alive. Alright, so I'm in the big blind now. If this guy shoves into me, I'm going to have great odds. I'd have to call with anything. Same thing, obviously, if this guy calls. So hopefully this guy folds here. Alright, so the play is going to be pretty simple from here. So calling 800 to win 3,000, I mean, I'm getting almost like 4 to 1. So obviously he woke up with a huge hand. And luckily, even though he had a huge hand, I mean, he didn't get beat for hardly anything. So now, ace 4. If he shoves all in, I'm going to shove all, well, I'm going to call his all in. I can't, but I'm going to shove all in this guy. He should be, if he's playing optimally, call me with a wide range. And, well, woke up with jack, so that might be it for me if I don't get lucky here. Oh, all right. So got very lucky. Obviously, it's like my third or fourth time I got pretty lucky. But that's standard. I have to shove there. Now, if everyone folds, I'm gonna shove and isolate. This guy heads up with king 10. But I have to shove there ace high. As a matter of fact, I mean, it's an incredible hand given the scenario to play heads up against a random hand with ace high. He woke up with a better hand. That happens. All right, so I'm just going to fold that there. I'm not going to try to, you know, make a play or anything like that. So he has kings. Wow, I would have, well, I eventually would have lost a little something, but I would have won the big stack against this guy if I would have tried to be brave and shoved all in. Alright, so we're down to 6 now. Alright, so king 9 suited, going against the blinds and one random. Gonna go ahead and shove all in. Alright, so chipped up a little bit. So I'm in third place right now with the remaining people. Queen 7, don't think it's strong enough right here. Alright, so we're going to have a scenario where 24 could likely bust. Of course, this guy's pot committed in this situation. Alright, so ace-king holds up, and down to 5 players now. So one thing, I know I talked about the M before, which is how many chips you have relative to what's in pre-flop. So right now there's 1,600 chips in the middle pre-flop, which is 800 plus 400 for the small blind and big blind, plus 80 in antes. So there's 5 of us, so 8 times 5 is 400. So of course the 12 plus the 400, 1,600. Now, in that situation, with me only with an 8,000 stack, I essentially have an M of 5. Alright, did so a lot of chips change hands on that hand. Now with an M of 5, obviously you're pretty much playing all-in poker. when you have an M of 5 or less. And almost everyone at this table, with the exception of 36, has that right now. All right, so makes a standard raise. I'm going to fold. I just don't. I don't trusting making a shove over the top in that situation. All right, so 7-10. Gonna go ahead and fold, and you probably can justify a shove heads up there. All right, now King 2. So this situation, especially with this small stack, I'm gonna shove. I'm really only worried about him. He really should be calling a lot given how much he has invested pre-flop, but luckily he got through the blinds. And that's why I don't like making speculative plays like that, shoving with the, where I was talking about potentially going shoving all in over number 16's raise, because it's so easy to just get a hand and you got a couple of people to get through to when these blinds are so big relative to the stacks. Just an all in where I steal the blinds, it increases my stack by a lot. So that's why I try to stay away from making speculative plays when somebody's already entered the pot. Alright, so looks like 5. This makes a full house, and we're down to 4 players. So one thing about the M, how your M justifies how aggressive you should be. One thing you got to know though is as the table gets smaller, now there's 4 people. That M, you're going to have an effective M, which is essentially when you have. I'll show you like factor it in my blog for this video, but essentially you're going to have to play more aggressive with less people at the table because the blinds are going to hit you faster. Alright, so King 5, if 16 doesn't enter this pot, well, which he does, but if he didn't, that would have been a heads-up shove against 28. But I'll go ahead and let that go. At some point, I think I am going to have to make a smart, calculated re-raise. Alright, Ace 9. This could be my last hand right here because this is a clear shove on the button. And, alright, so I get through, that's great. Queen Jack, and this is going to be a shove again. 3-handed table. So you can see I just chipped up basically from 4th place to 2nd in a couple of hands, just shoving all in. Alright, so it's going to be a fold obviously with 3 high. Alright, so pocket 10's 4-handed. Obviously a very, very strong hand. So strong that I'm even willing, would be glad to see him shove all in. But I'm going to go ahead and shove over the top of him. And, you know, if he calls, I got to be way ahead of his range. So yeah, Ace 10. Alright, so I just won a huge pot. Alright, so Queen 3, I mean, I could justify making a standard raise if he didn't shove all in, but I'm going to go ahead and fold that. This guy is going to be getting, call 1,000 to win. He's getting like 3 to 1, so he's got a call there, and looks like that's going to be the last hand. Alright, so down 3-handed now. So let's see. So 2970. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and fold that there. So 2970 for 3rd place, so pretty good off a $5 investment. Obviously, we're still banking for 1st. Alright, so Ace 2. Love to just to see him fold, and then Obviously a very good situation just to shove heads up. He should be calling pretty light. It's good that for the majority of the hands I am going to have position on 36 because he has a lot of chips. All right, so I'm taking down another one here. So Jack 6, if he shoves all in, not going to have the odds to call. It may be pretty close, so let's see. So 6,900 to call to win 10,000. So general rule of thumb is you want to have 2 to 1. So that's just not good enough odds in the situation. It's more like a 1.7, 1.8 to 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that. Plus Jack 6, I mean, obviously it's not too strong. My range for calling a situation like that would probably be Queen Jack, King Jack, Ace. Obviously, probably wouldn't call any Ace. Might even fold Queen Jack there, but I think King Jack, maybe King 10, Ace 7 or better. All right, so Ace King. This is a situation where I wouldn't mind him shoving all in. If he shoves all in over the top of me, I have to have his range still crushed. So yeah, Ace 4. Oh, well, so he just made a full house with Ace 4. So, but obviously in that situation, Ace King, if he's shoving on you with my image, I'm playing a lot of hands. Ace King is way ahead of his range. I mean, you're 50-50 against everything except for aces and kings, so that's fine to begin with. But he's probably shoving in with a wide range. You know, Ace Jack, Ace Queen. Obviously, you have crushed, and those are huge hands, three-handed. So even I would get my money in those situations. I'd probably even shove all in with them with Ace 10, maybe even Ace 9, Ace 8, any pocket pair. So you have to make that call there. The fact that he hit a 3-outer is really really doesn't even matter. You just got to make the right play over and over again. And he made a hand and he got lucky, but the fact is I got lucky in numerous spots in this tournament, and you really have to make the right play over and over again, and then just kind of let the chips fall as they may. So if you watch this all the way up to, I know I'm 53 minutes in this video, so if you watched it all the way up here, I really appreciate it. I hope you got some value out of this, and you know, check out some of my other videos and check out my website, modernesthetic.com. More than just poker videos. You know, I'm into health and nutrition, exercise, fitness, so be glad to hear from you, and until next time, peace.